What did we talk about last week? Now, if you can't tell me what we talked about...
Closing.
Huh?
Closing.
No. What did we talk about last week?
Wait, you mean
2 weeks ago. Yeah, when I was here. Last time.
The difference between you and the homeowner selling it himself or for sale?
Huh? FSBOs. That's exactly what we talked about 2 weeks ago. FSBOs. And we talked about the stages of FSBOism, did we not? Did we not talk about the stages of FSBOism?
We did.
Who of you have talked to a FSBO since I was here 2 weeks ago? Scott. Rocco. Nobody else.
I talked to 11 of them.
Nobody else. Here's the deal, folks. The name of this game is listings. Listings, listings, listings. You can ride around with buyers forever and you're unemployed. All right? A buyer can get out of your car out here and get in their car and go to another agency and ride around with somebody else. You're unemployed. The only time you're employed in this business is when you have listings. One source of listings that we talked about. We're going to talk about a second one here in a few minutes. But one source of listings that we talked about last week were For SaleBy Owners. And I've got 2 people in here that have talked to a FSBO in the last 2 weeks. How many of you have seen a FSBO sign in the last 2 weeks? How many of you? Huh?
saw one.
Saw one. You saw one. You saw one. You saw one. Yeah, darn right. All of you just about have seen a FSBO sign last week or a week before last. But guess what? You didn't have nerve enough to go knock on the door. You didn't have nerve enough to go knock on the door. Right? If you had, you'd have gone and knocked on the door. And when you knock on the door, what are we looking for? Stages of, I'll give you a hint. Stages of FSBOism. Absolutely. Stage 1 FSBO won't let you in. We're not working with realtors. We're not talking to you or anything. Once in a while you might see a sign that says no realtors on it. No agents on it, right?
I have this conversation with the agents all the time. What you said is completely true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when they tell me, oh, this for SaleBy owner, he doesn't want to cooperate or she doesn't want to cooperate.
Yeah.
I said, we're not ready yet. Just keep
They're not ready. That's absolutely. Remember what we said? Back in the old days, just keep a spiral notebook laying on the seat of the car. A page for each FSBO. Each FSBO you ride by, Scott, you know. Talk to them today, stage 1. Talk to them again in 2 weeks, wherever they are. Once in a while you see one that says no agents. You know the answer to the sign that says no agents? I don't think I've told you this. I came over here because I saw your sign that said no agents, and I just talked to my manager, and he said I was as close to no agent as he had, so he sent me over here. So he sent me over here. All right? Now, what's stage 2 FSBO? Quick review, that's all we're doing.
He will talk to you.
They'll talk to you. Guess what? They will talk to you, and they will let you in to see the house usually. Is that correct? But we're not working with realtors. We're not ready yet. We're not. Sometimes I tell you we're not ready yet. Okay, that's as much as saying if this thing isn't sold shortly, we're going to list it with somebody. Who are they going to list it with? They're going to list it with one of 2 people. They're going to list it with the agent, that should be you, that kept up with them for the months while they tried to FSBO. Or are they going to talk to the last agent that knocked on that door when they said enough? We're going to list this thing. One of those 2 people is going to wind up with a listing. I used to, a long time ago, pursue a lot of FSBOs. Got some, missed some. Once in a while they sold as a FSBO and so forth. But stage 2 FSBOs will talk to you. And as soon as they let you in the house, as soon as the stage 2 FSBO lets you in the house, to let you see the house, for you it becomes a job interview. That's all it is. They're looking at you as possibly being the agent that they will do business with, list their house. So it becomes a job interview. So what do you need, Scott? You need to know something about?
home size.
Huh? Need to know something about the houses. You need to know something about the houses, styles of houses and so forth. You need to know something about the market. How's the market right now? Well, how many people have, if you wore that daggone name tag, I'll guarantee you, if you wear that name tag out everywhere you go all the time, somebody's going to walk up, oh, you sell real estate, how's the market? What are you going to say? You got an answer for how's the market? Better have. What's the answer, Rocco?
Seller's market.
Seller's market. What's that mean, Rocco?
Homes are getting over asking price.
Homes are getting over asking price. How about interest rates, Rocco?
They're at 20-year low.
That's good, right? Lower the interest rates, more qualified buyers we have for your home, so there's a good possibility you can get more for your house right now than you can if you wait till spring or whenever. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was a better way of what I was saying.
Yeah. Well, that's the same thing. It might be the better way, but it's the same thing. But the point I'm making, this is the only point. Hey, I got to know something about the market. Right? I always got to know something about the market. How many times have you heard the term, I'm in real estate? I'm in real, you've heard this, your mother's heard this. I'm in real estate. Oh, what does that mean? I'm in real estate. You sell it or you don't. All right? You're either selling real estate or you're not in real estate. One or the other. Easy enough? Because this is tough business, people. I want to tell you that. Anybody gets in this stuff and thinks it's fun and games, you're out of your mind. This is not an easy business. But the best part about this business, which I dearly love, I taught school for 30 years. And every 2 weeks they'd hand me a check. Here it is. That's all you're worth. Okay? Hand me a check. That's all you're worth. That's all you're worth. Guess what? In this business, they're never telling you that's all you're worth. All right? Second year I was in the business. First year I was in the business. You know how much I made first year I was in the business? Nothing. And as I've told other people in here, I was looking for listings at the racetrack mostly, so that didn't work too well. Second year I was in the business. How much did I make? How much did I make, Lewis? About 90. About 90 grand. This was in 1987. About 90 grand. How much did I make in the third year?
350.
Huh? 140. 140. But the point being, that's 3 times as much as I made teaching school. 3 times as much as I made teaching school. And this stuff, I'm telling you, if you get out there and you get in front of people and you do the activities, we're going to talk about telephone prospecting here in a little bit. Most of you are scared to death of that telephone. That damn thing might bite you. You know? You right? You're scared to death of that telephone. Rocco, you scared to death of that telephone anymore? No. Why? I know what to say. Yeah, and I know what to say. I know what to say. It's easy. Okay, stage 3 FSBO. Stage 3 FSBO. What's a stage 3 FSBO going to do? Absolutely. So what's the question? Are you enjoying selling your own home? Are you enjoying? And you look right at her. If it's a couple, you look right at her. Okay? Because guess what? He wants to save the money. All right? She's tired of making the beds and doing the dishes and all that stuff. So are you enjoying selling your own home? She's going to possibly say something like, no, not really. Not really. This is really getting to be a chore. Have you had any offers? Not if you had a buyer, just have you had any offers? No. Have you had a lot of people see your house? Well, we've had, see, those are the kind of questions you ask. You see, those are the kind of questions you ask. Because you're working on this stage 3 FSBO, what do you want to do before you walk out of there on a stage 3 FSBO? Right. You want to get the listing. Boy, that's tough, isn't it? That's what I went there for, so I'd like to try to list the house. So, stage 3 FSBOs. All right? Easy enough. But here's the key. If they put the sign up today, they're going to be stage 1 FSBO till first of the year. Most all of them have a time frame. If this thing's not sold in a month, I'm going to talk to a realtor. Easy enough? If it's not sold in a month, I'm going to talk to a realtor. So, you go and you knock on the front door and they tell you we're not working with realtors and they're not nice. Oh, I don't want to talk to those people anymore. That ain't the way the game is played. They get to stage 2. All right? Months are in stage 2. Could I see your house? And you're knocking on the door. My name is so-and-so from Culture Estate. All right? And I saw your sign. I respect your sign and everything, but I'd just like to see your house. Could I see your house? What's the question they always ask you? Do you have a buyer for my house? What's the answer? I work with a lot of qualified buyers. You see, he's been in this stuff, what, 3 months now?
At least, yeah.
Yeah, 3 or 4 months. Every question I ask, I bet you he can answer. I bet you he can answer every question. I'm putting the pressure on you now, Rocco. But I bet you can answer every question I ask you. You know, and you know why? I know why. Because he practices. You cannot do this daggone stuff without practicing. If I walk in here next week and say we talked about expired listings last week, which is what we're going to talk about in a few minutes. How many of you talked to an expired? How many of you looked at an expired list? Guess what? If you haven't, after a while, you're not making any money. You're not doing anything. You're not doing any good with this. Guess what you do? You go bye-bye. You're either in or you're out. You got to do the activities while you're in. Lewis is going to press you to do the activities. He'll get to a certain point where he'll really press you to do the activities. He's going to call you in there and say, what are you doing? It's that simple. All right, so here we go. All right, let's talk about expireds. All of you got the sheet from last week? I got to go get handouts, do I? Supposed to bring this stuff with you. A couple of you don't have one, do you?
I got one right now.
Oh, you get her one? Okay. Everybody else got a sheet from last week? You don't? Were you here last week? Or week before last?
No.
Okay, got to get a couple of them.
2 binders?
Yeah, 2 binders and the handout about FSBOs and expireds. It's on. All right. There's a whole lot of homework to learn in this handout about FSBOs and expireds. And on page 15 of the handout is where the prospecting the expired listings start. Page 15. Okay? Now, what's the difference between the FSBO and an expired? As far as the person goes. What's the difference?
They've already been working with a realtor?
They've already had a bad experience. Absolutely, positively. The other people, the FSBO hasn't worked with realtors. But the expired, hey, they've already had a bad experience. I had a bad go-around with one realtor. Because this is how it works. Let me explain how expireds work. Joe Blow from XYZ lists their house. It doesn't sell in a month or 2 months. And Joe says, God, this thing is not getting any offers and I can't get price reduced. I don't want to talk to these people. And guess what? They don't talk to them. Half of the expireds will tell you, I didn't even know the thing expired. He never told me. Joe Blow never told me that. I didn't know it was even expired. All right? So, I had a bad experience with, all right, an agent. So how do you look for expireds? Rocco, you can get them every day, right? Yeah, you can get them every day. Every day. And this is what you want to do when you pull them up off the computer. You get those that are going to expire tomorrow or next week or whatever. And guess what you're going to do? First thing you want to do, you look at where they are and the price of them. And you say, $300,000 in that neighborhood, this will never do. All right? And the one question you want to ask yourself as you check this and as you do the windshield, you know what a windshield appraisal is?
Yeah.
Drive by.
Yeah.
Drive by. Look through the windshield and see what it looks like. All right? Windshield appraisal. Guess what? Guess what? The one question you want answered when pursuing an expired is this. Is this worth my time? Is pursuing this worth my time? Because some of them aren't. A lot of them aren't. A lot of them aren't. But if I'm going to pursue them, I want to find something that's worth my time. Something that if I get it, I can sell it. All right? So on page 16 of this handout. All right? Start with a telephone call. Okay. On the day after the listing expires. You can't pursue them till they expire. So if it's supposed to expire tomorrow, call them on Wednesday. And the telephone call goes just like it is here. Ring, ring. Hello, is this the owner of the home at such and such an address? Yes, it is. My name is so-and-so from Culture Estates, and the purpose of my call. Purpose is a good word when telephone prospecting. We're going to talk about telephone prospecting in a little bit. Purpose. Scott, purpose, right? They listen to you. You know why? The word purpose tells them you're not going to spend much of my time. Let's start it this way. Hi, how are you this evening? Right? I don't give a damn how you are. It doesn't make a difference to me. Right? And you're asking me, how are you today? I don't care how you are. You're sitting there and you're learning. How you are is something else. All right? So you're not going to say hi. You're going to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Easy enough? My name is so-and-so. Tell them who you are up front. Don't try to fool anybody. Tell them who you are up front and say the purpose of my call is. Well, in this one, the purpose of my call is I see. All right? The purpose of my call is I see from the computer that your home's no longer for sale. I see from the computer that your home's no longer for sale. It's right in that handout. He's getting a couple more of them so you won't have to take as many notes.
I like waving at him.
All right? All right? So, what's the next question? After you see that it's expired, what's the question you want to ask them? No, not yet.
Still looking to sell.
Do you still want to sell? Absolutely positive. Do you still want to sell? No, we've decided we're going to stay here forever. All right? I'm serious. So what do you say next? Thank you for your time. Click and beat them to the hang up. I'm serious. No use talking. I'm going to stay here forever. That's the way with me. I got a $1 million house in Westfield. 2 people live in a 13-room house. I've got a wife that wouldn't leave there. There's no way she'd leave there. So if somebody called me and asked me if I want to sell my house, I'd say, no, I'm going to die here. All right? Easy enough? There's nothing there. When there's nothing there, you hang up the phone. Thank you for your time. Click. Easy enough? All right. So, do you still want to sell? What they say doesn't really matter because you want to get into the next question. The next question is, it's right on there. What's the next question, Rocco? Come on, you can't look at that thing and answer all my questions now. What's the next question?
How come it didn't sell?
Yeah, why do you feel? Not how come it didn't sell. That doesn't, ooh. Is that Chinese or something? Why do you feel your home did not sell? Why do you feel your home did not sell? Well, what are they going to say? What do you think they're going to say? They just had a bad experience with another agent. What are they going to say? That sorry agent didn't do this, and this, or whatever. Right? So now, what do you do if you get something like that? It says the homeowner will usually vent his anger with reasons why he feels his home did not sell. The main reason most listings expire is the fact they're originally overpriced. We know that. The house doesn't sell, it's overpriced. We've done that little exercise before here where one day I took off my watch. Remember that? Took off my watch and said, what do you give me for my watch? Remember that? Huh?
I told you $3.50.
You said $3.50 and I said, no. But if I had to sell my watch and $3.50 was the only offer I had, what's my watch worth? $3.50. That's it. That's it. Houses are priced to sell. There is a value on these things. There's a value on these things. All right? So, the main reason why many listings expire is the fact they're originally overpriced and had no price reductions. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. After Christmas, we're going to get into how to get a price reduction on a listing. We're going to have it for agents with a listing only. And talk about getting a price reduction. All right? So, don't discuss with the owner on in the telephone conversation anything. Were you here week before last? Yes, you were, right? And you got the handout from week before last? Right in your oh gosh. God, we got somebody that's got the stuff with them. Right? All right? You don't want to talk to the expired over the phone too much. You want to get the appointment. Anything they say, you follow it up with this dialogue. That's not how you hear it? Sounds like an echo over here, huh? That's not how I work. And the next thing you say is, here's how I work. Isn't that amazing? Amazing. He's been here about 3 months. He's bought into this stuff. He likes money. Right? Here's how I work. Okay, but you're not going to tell him a whole lot about how I work, except that you're going to counter what that sorry agent that he had did. That's not how he never advertised. That's not how I work. Here's how I work. I show you different types of advertising on the internet and so forth and so forth and so forth. You counter everything they say bad about the other agent. Easy enough? Take some practice. Come back next week. Guess what? Guess where we start next week? I'm going to say, has anybody talked to an expired? And you're going to look at me and say, right? And I'm going to say, I might say something like, what the hell are you doing here? You know, that sort of thing. So, get face to face. Bottom of page 16. When face to face with seller whose listing has expired, your dialogue should be built around the answer to one question. The question is, why do you feel that your home did not sell? Okay. All right. There's 3 things that sell a house. And you want to talk to them. And this top of page 17, that whole big paragraph there, we're gonna study. All right. What's the 3 key reasons houses sell? What's the 3 key reasons houses sell?
Marketing, condition.
Marketing, condition, and price. It's right in front of you, right? All right. Now, 3 reasons: marketing, condition, and price. The real estate agent controls which one of those 3? Marketing, absolutely positively. All right? Marketing is controlled by the real estate agent. Who controls the other 2? Homeowner, absolutely positively, the homeowner. Are you leaving?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you can't leave.
No, I'm not leaving.
Okay. I mean, God, I'm liable to have to go to work here if you leave. All right? All right. Marketing, condition, and price. Real estate agent controls one of them. Real estate agent controls one of them. All right. The seller controls the other 2. All right. Remember, we've talked about things like this before. A lot. We've talked about this a lot. So now you haven't been in here before, but we've talked about this a lot. Okay? Let me show you is always better than let me tell you. You guys remember that, Scott? Let me show you is always better than let me tell you. Right? We talked about this just observing people. First thing I noticed about Zoe when she walked in here this morning, she's taller than me. She's taller than me. I said, God, she's about 6'2" or 1.
5'11",
with the big heels on it. Well, I got 2 daughters that are 6 feet and 6'1". That's the reason.
okay.
Yeah, they're big girls. So anyway, if we're going to talk about how we work, let's explain how we work. All right? And we're going to do that in a little bit with a little pyramid. Remember the pyramid we did for FSBOs week before last? Remember that? Would anybody like to walk up here and draw it for me? Huh? You can't. You couldn't, could you?
What, the one where...
The pyramid for the FSBO week before last that we worked on.
Well, the things that you do and then the things that the other agents
That's exactly right. It's the things that you do and the things that need to be done. Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody remembers it. Not many people even remember it. Hey, bud. You got the handout from 2 weeks ago? Did you get it? The FSBO handout? Huh? FSBO, yeah. Take your coat off and make yourself comfortable in there. We don't have to burn hot in here. All right? Let me show you is always better than let me tell you. Okay. All right. So, if you look on page 17, they talk about how their former agent worked, and we talk about that's not how we work. Here's how we work, and somewhere in there I'm going to say, let me show you how we work. Right? Because you have to be able to do it. You have to be able to do it. All right? After countering the owner's complaints, ask the question again, do you still want to sell? That's the big question you want to answer. After you talk about how you do it as opposed to how the other person did it, all right? Do you still want to sell? 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 Yeah, we do want to sell, but we just couldn't get anything done with former agent. Okay, and now we're down to, that's not how we work. You're separating yourself. You're separating yourself from the former agent. That's exactly what you're doing the whole time. All right? So if you try to close for the appointment, if you haven't already got it, I'd like to meet with you and show you how Culture Estates and I Yeah, that's the one for later on, but let's take one. How culture, estates, and act work. Okay, when can I see your home? Okay, if you don't get an appointment, this is important in any of them. If you don't get an appointment, when can I see your home? You don't get an appointment. What do you try to do next? Close for a Rocco?
Follow.
Close for a call back, right? Close, if you don't get an appointment, close for a call back. Right? I mean, geez. I remember when I was dating girls 60 years ago, you know, you don't get a date. You really want to go out with her. Hey, would you mind if I gave you a call? They'll say, yeah, sure. Every time. For some reason, every time they'd say, yeah, sure. I don't know why. But that's the way it works. All right? A lot of times I think they say that just to get you off the phone. Yes, dear.
I have a question what you just said about like back in the day you used to call. I think the dynamic of social media and the
It's hard to do now.
we are much more inclined to text somebody
Oh, yeah, I know.
than call somebody.
That's right. You know what you mean?
People call and I mean
I know.
just
Hey.
things have changed so much.
I know. It's harder to telephone prospect now by far than it
Yes.
used to be. And good point. Everybody wants to text somebody. I want to talk to somebody if I can. See, I'm convinced I live another 20 years, I'm going to be the last person on earth that can talk to somebody. Everybody else will be texting each other. I mean, I was in the gym a couple months ago and there's two girls that worked in there texting each other. They were as far apart as you and me. And they're texting each other. I said, what the hell are they doing?
Yeah.
You know? Follow? Because I want to tell you something. This skill is not as easy for a lot of people. It's not as easy for most of you as it is for me. It's an easy deal for me. All right? It'll get easier for you. Guess how it gets easier? You know how it gets easier? Knowing what to say. Practice and knowing what to say. Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so you close for a call back. Okay? You want to call back because they're not usually, if they've had a really bad experience, they're not usually ready to do much anything yet. All right? Oh, man, I'm going to wait till... if you call one this time of year, guess what they're going to tell you? All of them. Not going to do anything till after the first of the year. Not going to do anything till after the first of the year. They're going to tell you that now. Nobody's going to list their house between now and Christmas. But that doesn't mean you can't make the first contact with them. All right? Look on page 18 of the handout. Based on what you learned from telephone conversation, plan your face-to-face appointment must be based on talking about marketing, condition, and price. Okay, now this takes a lot of skill, artistic, especially if the damn pen doesn't right. Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, you're the one on top of the board out there probably, Danny. Yes, it takes a lot of skill, but it's a show me. Show me is always more important than tell you. There's a real good line in this business, though. It says, I can tell you what you want to hear and probably get your business, or I can show you what you need to see and risk losing your business. Which one you want me to do? Tell you what you need to see or show you what you need to... Tell you what you want to hear or show you what you need to see.
I think the black one would be...
You think that'll work? That's good. I think that and I can toss.
Well,
All right, so this takes a lot of skill now, a lot of artistic ability. Okay? A lot of artistic ability here. What's the first marketing tool? Sign. Absolutely, positively. Sign. All right, now I'm attacking the former agent. Okay, what's the question that goes with that? Did your former agent always have the sign on the property? Guess what? If they don't care whether it expired or not, they don't care about the sign either. All right? Probably, so the answer to that's probably no, right? Okay, so if the answer to that is no, will I always have a sign on the property? Yes. Why do I have signs on the property? Because we get calls on them. All of our signs are interconnected. Might call on one house, sign, get an appointment to see another house. All of them are interconnected. So I get a yes, you get a no. There's snow in the picture there. Did you ever update the picture or update the dialogue in the MLS? I don't know. Never saw it. I don't know. Okay, so no. That's not how I work or we work. How do we work? Well, we look at it every couple of weeks and we refresh it to make people look at it. Okay, easy enough. What's the next one say? Open house. Open house. Okay. Now here's one that usually really gets them. Did your former agent ever hold open houses? No, that's not the way to word it. Did your former agent hold an open house on a regular basis? Did your former agent hold an open house on a regular basis? Well, you know, you haven't heard from him for 3 months, so obviously he didn't probably. Is that correct? But the key question is, was it held open on a regular basis? Well, no. He talked about an open house, but never had one. All right? All right, what's the next one say? Promotion. Promo. All right? What do we mean by promo? Did the former agent... Huh? That's right. Did the former agent call the neighborhood about the house? That sort of thing. Did he make calls about the fact that he had the listing? That sort of thing. And 9 times out of 10 the answer is, I don't know, he never told me. 9 times out of 10. Well, that's not how I work. Okay, here's what I do. The last... Huh?
Can you repeat that, the promo? Did the former agent?
Did the former agent make calls to the neighbors, surrounding area, and so forth? No, I don't know. They never told me. All right, what's the next one? Oh, showings. Oh, I like this one. I like this one. Showings. S-H-O-W. All right. Was the home shown while it was listed with brand X? Yeah, it was shown some. Oh, is that right? What's the next question off of that? Did you have any offers? Bingo. Have any offers? Well, yeah, we did have an offer. What's the next question?
Sure.
Yeah, what happened? Key word you just said. What was the word? Share. Absolutely. Zoe, people will share with you what they'll never tell you. Okay? So rather than tell me about it, we're going to say, would you mind sharing that with me? Well, we had an offer, but they wouldn't come up any, and we didn't get a counter offer, and blah, blah, blah. Easy enough? So what you're saying is the showings got you an offer, is that right? But the offer did not sell your house. Is that correct? We follow up on all the showings. We try to, any potential buyers, and we get offers. How do you know? How do I know you get offers?
Well, we have to present them, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. But how do I know that you're going to get offers on my house? You don't. But what you do know is this. What you can show them is we've had offers on others that resulted in sold. This is how many houses we sold last month, blah, blah, blah. I got a daughter that sells real estate in Florida. She's her company, my son-in-law's company, is very good. She sold 31 in August.
What, 31 properties in 1 month?
She sells one a day.
How many people work with her?
How many people work with her? She manages an office with 3 people. They sell an average of 20 a month. And she makes $12,000 a pop on them. You think they got a company plane? Yeah. You know, and they got all of that stuff. They work 18 hours a day. Between her and her husband, they work 18 hours a day. Guess what? They're 50 years old. Guess what they're going to do when they're 55? Bye, y'all. See ya. All right? So offers, well, we get offers and we turn them into sales. All right, so the whole thing should have resulted in a sale. Is that correct? Well, obviously your house isn't sold, so it would be a no there. Well, we can get it sold, so let's just put a yes over here. Now, here's Culture Estates, and here's Brand X. Is there a story right there? Let me show you. Now, rather than just talk, I sat down at the table with them and wrote all this out. Just
Can
show.
I add one to the list?
You can add anything you want to the list,
I
honey.
think is really important.
All right.
I think communication. Because a lot of agents don't.
Yeah, we talked about that in the beginning. We haven't heard from him in 3 months. We talked about that to begin with. Yeah. That's a good question. So in there, did your former agent communicate with you on a regular basis about what's done to market your home? That's a good question. Thank you. Did your former? And the answer, most expireds, the answer is no. Okay. So all of that's what's on page 18 and 19. All right, let's talk in the middle of page 19, let's talk about condition. See the dialogue down there in the middle of the page about condition? What's it say? Good condition may not make a house worth more, but poor condition will surely make it worth less. You see that piece of dialogue in there? Good condition may not make it worth more, but poor condition will surely make it worth less. Easy enough? Easy enough? I would think so. Good condition? Okay, let's talk about good condition. Now, if you're the agent and you're getting interviewed and you say that, good condition may make it worth more, you say that, well, guess what they expect you to do? What do you think they expect you to do?
Raise the price.
No. We haven't talked about this, but we will. Hey, I expect you, if you want to list my house, I expect you to tell me what needs to be done to it, if anything. Well, I'm going to tell you, yeah. You see, here's the key. I know what buyers, now I'm the agent. I know what buyers are looking for. Let's talk about some of the things that need to be done to make your house more appealing to buyers. I know what buyers are looking for. That's the key right there. All right, so what are we going to talk about? Well, it says down here, general appearance. General appearance. Uncluttered, that sort of thing. Does it look appealing? Does this office now look appealing? I was walking in here when it was knocked to pieces. Is it appealing? You know why? You want to know why it's really appealing? I'll tell you why it's really appealing. It's light and it's bright. It's light and it's bright. You walk in this door, every daggone thing in here is either black or white, isn't it? It's light and it's bright. So, the general appearance has got to look good. Color contrast, another one. Just because you like the wallpaper doesn't mean buyers are going to like it. All right? Color contrast. Talk about neutral colors. Do you think buyers would like to see, neutral colors? Absolutely, absolutely. You see what most sellers don't understand? They don't understand this. Buyers look at it as they would live there. Sellers look at it like, well, I like this. I've been here 30 years and it looks good to me, blah, blah, blah. But that isn't what you're selling to. You're selling to buyers. So the general appearance and the color contrast and so forth are important. Third thing says, what's third thing say? Kitchens and baths. What's the two parts of a house that you can update and get the most money back for?
Landscape.
Kitchens and baths first. Landscaping gets them in the house. That's a good point too.
First.
Landscaping getting them in the house. Kitchens and baths. Let's see if Zoe knows the answer to this question. Zoe, the kitchen's too small.
We even always look at the kitchen first. I don't
All right, let me ask you a question.
We spend the most time there, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Hey, I'm married to a nutritionist. She'll walk in there and open every damn drawer in the place. You know. Okay? But let me ask you a question. All the feedback, everybody says the kitchen's too small. Scott's grinning already because he knows what the answer is, right, Scott? How do you make a kitchen bigger, Scott?
Adjust the price.
Adjust the price. Do you know that, Zoe? Every time you lower the price, kitchen gets bigger. You don't have to do a thing. No, you don't have to do anything. Lower it, because everybody starts, well, you can knock out this wall, you can do here, knock out this and knock out that and everything. No, you don't. Lower the price. Every time you lower the price, kitchen gets bigger. All right? Automatically. All right, so where are we down there? Cleanliness. Well, hey, that's an important thing. How do you deal with that? Your house is a pig pen. How do you deal with that? Give me the dialogue. Give me some dialogue. Your house is a pig pen. Deal with that.
You make sure you tell them to clean up.
You tell me my house is dirty?
No, you suggest.
Here, you do it by looking at it from a buyer standpoint.
Right.
You know, it may look fine to you because you live here and everything, but this is not going to be appealing is a key word. It's not going to be appealing to buyers, blah, blah, blah. You're going to have to clean this, you're going to have to do this, you're going to have to do that sort of stuff. It's not easy to do. Personalized. There's a lot of houses, you know the house I live in right now. When we bought it 30 years ago, the living room had 3 walls full of pictures. I mean, picture. I'm not talking about one picture. I'm talking about a space like that might have 8 pictures. And guess what? All 40 pictures that were in that room were nude women. Honest to God, you can't make it up. You cannot make it up. Cannot make it up. We walked in that house first time, and I'm looking at 3 walls full of nude women's pictures. And I said, oh my God, what is this? But, as my wife said, don't worry, honey, if we buy it, they'll be off the wall. Yeah, I bet they will. All right? So, what are we talking about here? We're talking about personalization. You know, it's not personalized for you, Mr. Seller. It's personalized it'll have to be shown so that it can be personalized for a buyer. You always got to look at it as a buyer. Make sense? Now, what you need to do with all of this is to talk about the price. Okay, look on page 20. Let's talk about the price, because the price, let's say that the house is on the market for $300,000, okay? Let's say it's on the market for $300,000. Price analysis shows that it's worth about $270 tops. Okay? So you got to work with the price. What's it say about the price? Well, first thing you want to talk about is the dangers of overpricing. Obviously, this thing was overpriced, right? Is that correct? What are the dangers of overpricing? Well, here's the first danger of overpricing. The wrong price range buyers see the property and affects the price of the property. For example, you've got a buyer. You know what a pinball machine looks like? And here's your house. And here's house A. That's $20,000 less. B, C, D. Say this one's priced $20,000 less. All right, this one's priced $10,000 less. This one's priced $30,000 less. This is priced $40,000 less. What's an agent that's working with a buyer going to do? Here's the agent, here's the buyer. It's going in that pinball machine. And they're going to show your house. What house are they going to show first? Yours. Why?
Because then it makes it easier to sell the others.
Absolutely, because that makes it easier to sell the others. You're going to show your house, and it's going to help to sell this one, or this one, or this one, or this one, or all of them. Right? Just because yours is overpriced. So as it says here, the wrong price range buyers see the property. What do we mean by regression, progression factor affects the price of the house? Well, it's a change in market. It's on the market for 6 months. Well, the market's going down, the market's maybe going up, but usually it's going down because a lot of agents see it and they say, a lot of agents go see the thing and what do they say? It's overpriced. All right? So if the agents think it's overpriced, guess what? First thing we have to do is sell it to the agents. Then after we sell it to the agents, they have to sell it to their buyers. So if the agents decide it's overpriced, are you going to get it shown? No. No, not going to get it shown. Okay. Time on the market, activity factor affecting the price of the property. Question, how long has it been on the market? You take that buyer in there, the first question they might ask you is, how long has it been on the market? It's been on the market 3 months. What's the next question? Have they had any offers? Why didn't it sell? Blah, blah, blah. Easy enough? All right. Chase a declining market factor affecting the price of the property. Right now the market's not declining, it's going the other way. But a lot of times it is. So I priced my house at $300,000 and 3 months from now it's down 5%. The market's down 5%, so I'm getting further and further away from these other houses. Make sense? Declining market, you can talk about that.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the regression, progression.
Regression, progression has to do with the market. Okay, it's either the market's going down or the market's going up. If it's going down, what's the price of your house have to do? Go down with it. All right. Where are we down here? Overpriced listing, yeah, and what he paid for it. I like this one because you're always dealing with with sellers that tell you, well, I paid X number of dollars for the house. Right? Does the buyer care what you paid for the house? Does it affect what he's going to do in any way? No. Here's what a buyer cares about. Here's your house. Okay, got a chimney up here. It's wintertime. Got a little smoke coming out of. Got a front door. All right, and here's the buyer. That's the door.
No, I'm saying there's no window.
Well. We all right now, Danny? Or how about downstairs windows?
Maybe some Christmas lights.
I just said it's wintertime. I didn't say it was Christmas.
Well, if the chimney's going, it's not going to be summer.
Well, I know. That's what I said. It's wintertime. There's smoke coming out of the thing. Here's a buyer. He's outside the house, right? And you can use this. This is you, Mr. Seller. This is you in your nice warm house. You think a buyer cares about what you paid for the house? No. He cares about one thing. You know what he cares about?
What he's going to do.
All he cares about is getting your butt out of there and getting himself in there. That's all he cares about. Whatever he has to do that. This is a house we really want to buy, blah, blah, blah. I got to get you out and me in. It's that simple. All right, and that all affects the price. All right, easy enough? So, okay, when a prospecting expires, it's important to have a well-organized tracking system. Okay. Like I said, look them up every day, right, Rocco?
Sure.
Take a ride by, right? Is this worth my time? Yep. Okay. Easy enough. And so there we are. The day after listing expires, call them. You see the dialogue down there? When I put dialogues in these things, this is what I expect for you to get anything out of it. Don't come back in here and tell me that you're going to try to improvise stuff. Don't tell me you're going to improvise stuff. Hi, how you doing? I don't care how you're doing. Don't make a difference to me. All right? Don't improvise. Certain words are put in these dialogues. Certain words are put in these dialogues because I know the dialogues work. I've had, I don't know how many people, I walked in here, like Scott the other day walked in here and he said, yeah, I talked to one of these people about Center Hall colonial houses. Remember that, Scott? Yeah, and he's learned a couple weeks ago why they back in colonial days they built Center Hall colonials, and he told somebody that. You know that, Zoe?
No, I don't.
No, you don't. You're gonna learn something. You're gonna learn something. Why they built Center Hall colonials? Scott, why they build Center Hall colonials?
So they don't have to heat the central hallway. They can just heat
That's right. They heat this room and this room and that room and that room, but we don't heat the center hallway because in the old days they did it with a fireplace in each room and so forth. So that's why we built Center Hall colonials. Didn't know that, see? Okay. What's the difference between the side-to-side split and the front-to-back split? Anybody here know that? Oh, come on. Side-to-side split, the levels go side-to-side up. Front-to-back split, down here on this level, and then stairs up, and the upper levels in the back. Easy enough? Easy enough? More house on a smaller lot, for example. You're getting interviewed for a job, people, you got to know some of this stuff. You might got to make them sound like you know what you're talking about. All right? Okay. All the dialogue is right there. The purpose call. See the question down there, why do you feel your home did not sell? Okay. Let them vent and then counter. That's all you got to do. What's a stall? You guys have been with me for a while. What's a stall, Rocco?
They're not ready and they just want to think about it.
Okay. Sample of a stall is we want to think about it, right? All right. What's an objection, Rocco?
It's kind of like
Huh?
saying we don't agree with the price.
Okay.
Commission.
You object to the price. So we got an objection, we got a stall,
And a condition.
and a condition. Bingo. God, he's been practicing. Okay, an objection is they object to something, like the example he just gave was the price. A stall is when they're just buying time. We want to think about it. We're not ready yet. We're not sure, blah, blah, blah. All of those kind of things. Okay? All right, and a condition. What was my favorite story about a condition?
Lou, you told me the other day about the dog now.
Absolutely. Funniest condition I ever got. I went to try to list a house one time, and this old couple told me we're not doing anything till the dog dies. Honest to God. So I'd ride by about every 2 weeks, see if the dog was still in the backyard. And if I was really desperate, I'd have probably thrown him a little food. Maybe. Okay? Condition. You got to know the difference. You got to know the difference. You got to be able to counter all of them. All right, so where are we? Whew. Hey, looks like we're about finished with this. So, we are. We're not sure what we're going to do. If we could show you how you... Look at the last part of it on page 22. If I could show you how you might get... What's the key word in there?
More.
Money. Guess what, Zoe? Everybody's interested in more money. You can talk about money and always talk in the positive point. If I could show you how you might get more money by selling it now. Let's say it's October. Now we're going to sell it, but we're going to wait till spring. Well, what's the key dialogue, guys? What's the key dialogue, Rocco? I'm not ready yet. It's October. I'm not ready yet. I'm going to wait till spring. What's the key dialogue, Rocco? Come on.
We can get more money in your pocket now.
You think you can get me more money now?
I do think I can.
How are you going to do that?
Because interest rates are at a 20-year low, and you get more buyers for your home now.
Don't you love it? Don't you love it? How old are you, Rocco? 21?
No, 19.
19. And he's repeating this stuff back to me almost word for word. Almost word for word. You know why? Hell, he's practiced. He's practiced and he's practiced and he's practiced. And he's decided this is what he's going to do. Right, Rocco? Beats getting a real job.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yes, dear?
Question, is there any statistical data of how rates change depending on seasons? Or some kind of events like elections, for example, like would the rates fluctuate based on that? Like if somebody says, I'm going to wait after, this event.
Not that I know of.
I'm actually, I wish that Maria was here for this one, because she sent me this graph that she created that shows what's going to happen in 2018. And it was going to cancel off any seller. I'll share that with you guys.
I mean,
right
it's
now.
trends, right? Trends, like you've been in business like
absolutely.
So what I'm saying, does anybody study it and can predict like, well, not 100%,
We actually
but like
have a
somewhat?
data analyst.
Maria can. I'll show it with you now.
Because that would be a good dialogue piece of like, wait now, but wait, and let me tell you, the trend is that this will happen, and we know it because of statistical data.
I'll say one thing about this. I don't do this stuff anymore. I'm old and retired. I sell horses for a living now mostly. All right?
Okay.
But when I did it, there were things, and I'll say this about this company. If there's a statistic for anything, how many times did the seller blow his nose last week? I guarantee you he can get in that computer and tell you.
I'll show it to you in a second.
Yeah, see?
Come on, this is actually great. I just wanted to show everybody what she created. It was amazing.
Uh-huh.
She wants to have a patent.
Huh?
What she did was she created a graph that ties, that basically creates a model for anyone who wants to sell their house, predicting what's going to happen if interest rates rise, how much will it decrease.
The price of your house.
Exactly. So it's a graph that automatically calculates interest rates, buyer interest. So it's completely inverse of each other, which is really cool.
That's what you're talking about, right?
Yes.
All right. Okay. That does the expired. Now, Scott, you want me to get into the telephone prospecting? Or Scott, yeah, I'm thinking of somebody else. Lewis, you want me to get into the telephone prospecting, or you want to take a break and you want to do your thing, or?
No, you can go ahead.
Go ahead?
Yeah, I don't want to take any breaks, guys. If you guys need a break, go ahead and take it.
No, it's only about 15, 20, 30 minutes. Everybody got the handout? It says lesson 6 telephone prospecting on it. You got that? Everybody got that? Here's something about telephone prospecting. We're going to talk briefly about this. And where's this young lady that does this for? All right. First of all, telephone prospecting is not something you just do, well, I think I'll sit down and make a few calls. All right? It's not the way you do it. There's another seat over there, if you can get through. Here, you've done a little of this, right? All right? This is not something that you just, well, I think I'll make a few calls. Because guess what? A few calls is about the same as making no calls. Usually. That's about the same as making no calls. You got to, as it says right at the top of page 1, preparation. You see that? Prepare a list of names to call. Always have the list with you. Always have the list with you. And by always, I mean always. Because you never know. If I were sitting around in here doing nothing, and I wanted to do something, if I've got the list with me, am I likely maybe to sit down and start calling some of these numbers? Yes. If I don't have the list with me, well, I want to do some telephone prospecting, but no, I don't have a list. I'm not ready. I'm not, and you don't do it. I'll tell you something. You can't do this business without doing this activity. You cannot do this business without doing this activity. Period. You will starve to death. All right?
Do you have a handout for that?
I have a handout. I just gave you a hand. Did I just give you a handout? Well, this was the last one I got. You got one? I just gave you one, didn't I?
Yeah.
You got one now, huh? You didn't have it before?
I know.
Sorry about that. All right. So here we go. Prepare a list. Always have the list with you. Have at least 40 names to call on that list. At least 40. Always. At least 40 to call. All right? Block out segments of time of your day planner to call. How many of you do that? How many of you in your day planner have ever put a block in there that says telephone prospecting?
They have to. It's in their business plan.
They have to, don't they? Okay, good. I'm glad they have to. Even if you have to force them to do it, I'm glad that they have to. All right? Have a pre-rehearsed dialogue. Okay. Have a pre-rehearsed dialogue. This is just like everything else I've taught you. It's easier if you know what to say. Easy? It's easier if you know what to say. All right? I can do it because I know what to say. Okay, so as it says, the dialogue should always start with a greeting, followed by a purpose statement. Okay, we're never going to start with how are you this evening, right? We're going to start with good afternoon, good morning, whatever it is. My name is so-and-so from Culture Estate. The purpose of my call is, you're always going to start that way. Always. What did I just say? Somebody tell me what I just said. What did I just say? What did I just say?
Good morning, my name is Liz. I'm calling from Culture Estate. The purpose of my call is.
Bing. And you do that every single solitary time. Not trying to fool anybody. Not trying to take up a lot of anybody's time. Easy enough? Not trying to fool anybody. All right. And it says always do these. You see that list? Make calls anytime during the day. They say, well, I can't call this morning. There'll be nobody there. Hell, you don't know whether anybody's there or not. You haven't called. Make calls anytime you got time to block out to do the calling. Okay? Always do these. Know your dialogue and stick to it. I'm calling. The purpose of my call, I'm just calling people in your neighborhood to see if I can find someone who's interested in selling their house, if that happens to be the one you're on. Right? Did I say I want to find somebody that wants to sell their house? No. What did I say? I said, what I said, I'm calling your neighborhood to see if I can find someone who's thought about selling their home. What's the key word in there? Thought. Absolutely. Anybody in here? How many of you in here own a house? Oh, have you ever thought about selling it? Sure. You ever thought about selling it? You own a house? Don't own a house. Anybody that owns a house, I bet you thought about selling it, right?
No, I just told you.
Yeah, it don't matter. You're thinking about selling it because, hey, I wonder how much I can get for it in the spring or something like that. See? As opposed to, do you want to sell your house? No, I just bought it. Right? All right, so here we go. What's the next one say? If there's no benefit to you, quickly end the call. That's important. That's the reason I don't give a damn about how you are this evening. The purpose of my calls, I'm just calling the neighborhood to see if I can find somebody who might be interested in selling their home. You ever thought about selling your home? No, we're going to die here. Thank you very much for your time. Click. Easy enough? 10 seconds that one took. The key is next. There's always a next call to be made. The key is next. All right? What else? If there is a benefit to you, have a service to offer that will get desirable results. Okay, let's try this one. What are the services we offer? If I'm calling somebody to see if I can find somebody who's interested in selling their house, what are the services we have to offer in this case?
Evaluation.
Absolutely. You got any idea what your home might be worth? Easy. And when remember the words S and B from earlier, way back when? This was before you. S and B, not BS, SB. Right? Not BS, SB.
Checks and balances?
Service benefit. Okay? This is what I can do for you, and this is how you'll benefit from it. The best service I can offer you is I'll do a market analysis on your home. The benefit to you is when I'm finished, you'll know the approximate value of your home. You're interested in the value of your home? Yeah, sure. When can I see your house? Easy enough?
I think that relates to government.
Huh?
Real estate. Checks and balances.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's, yeah.
S&P, when he says that is what I think of. Checks and balances.
No, service and benefits. See, we don't sell anything. You say, I'm in the real estate business, but we don't sell anything. I own one house. Like, I could sell that, I guess, but then I'd be out of business. Right? We don't sell anything. We offer services, and there are benefits to those services. It's that simple. Not complicated. All right. Okay, have a service to offer, so it says. Never do these. You see that list? Never do these. Don't make calls when you're in a bad mood. Well, that might eliminate a lot of us. I don't know. It would me if I was doing this business today. I ain't about to call anybody. I'm going home and prop my feet up. All right? Don't make calls without proper preparation. Know what to say. And also, when you know what to say, you can write it down and put it in front of you if you want to, but practice it to the point you don't sound like you're reading. Follow? Practice it to the point that you don't sound like you're reading it. Okay. Proper preparation. Don't leave long messages on an answering machine. I wouldn't even talk to an answering machine. Don't leave. Yeah, this is so-and-so from Culture Estates. If you want to sell your house, give me a call. Yeah, well, you might as well whistle in the wind. All right? Okay. Don't make a call without identifying yourself at the beginning of the call. We're not trying to fool anybody. The purpose of my name is so-and-so from Culture Estates. All right? That's one thing I like about the name of this place. From Culture Estate. What's Culture Estate? Oh, we're a real estate company. But you wouldn't know it by the name of the company, would you? I'm selling culture, right? I don't think so. Not me. I'm from the country. All right? Don't let the telephone ring more than 4 times. If it rings 4 times, nobody answers, hang it up. Next. Easy enough, because it's a numbers game. Okay. Shown below are several suggested telephone dialogues that are effective. Oh, these things work. That's amazing. They do work. Look at the second page. You're looking for sellers. Okay. First one up there says, I'm looking for sellers. Good morning, Mr. So-and-so. My name is so-and-so from Culture Estates. The purpose of my call is that I'm calling neighborhoods to see if I can find someone who wants to sell their home. Have you ever thought about selling your home? You see the key word in there, thought? You see that? Now, if I were doing this, man, I would just use these. And I'd get so good at them that they could just... Right, Rocco?
Yes, sir.
Just... Whoop. I can text Rocco, I'm looking for sellers. And he can give me the dialogue, word for word. Right? Amazing. 19 years old. Oh, jeez. All right. All right. I'm looking for somebody who's interested in selling their home. Have you ever thought of selling? Well, what are you going to do if yes? Yeah, we've thought of it. What are you going to do next? It's simple. It's right there. What are you going to do? I thought of selling my home. What are you going to do next?
When can I see it?
What? No. No.
Oh, when?
When are you thinking of selling? Well, about 5 years from now, I think we might be able to get out of here. Well, you want to talk to them right now? Not really. Have you ever thought about selling your home? Yes, we thought about it. Good. When are you thinking of selling? Well, we thought we might do it in the spring, like we were talking about a while ago, right? And like Lewis was talking about up here, how to show them that they might be better off now. If the time frame is reasonable, follow up. I'm sure you'd like to get the most money possible for your home, wouldn't you? Nobody will ever say no to that question. I'm sure you'd like to get the most money possible for your home, wouldn't you? Oh, yeah, of course. Yes. What do you follow that up with? If I could show you how we could do this, can I make an appointment to see your home? Remember, show's always better than tell. Easy enough? Show's always better than tell. If I could show you how you might be able to get you more money for your house by selling it now rather than waiting, could I talk to you about selling your home? Make an appointment. That's just real simple stuff there, if you just learn it. All right? You got to learn this stuff to the point that it doesn't sound canned. Do I sound canned? Probably a little bit, because I'm in a hurry. But hey, if I got on that phone and start talking to somebody, you can't sound canned. You can have a cheat sheet right in front of you with what to say on it. I'd put it in very big print, and right there it is. But I'd get so smooth at it, you'd never know I was reading. Easy enough? Look at page 3. Because we're going to flip right through this, because there's a purpose for all of this. Okay. Cold calling looking for sellers because you want to buy it, because you have a buyer. Well, look at that one. Same introduction. Good morning, Mr. Smith. My name's so-and-so from Culture Estates. The purpose of my call is that I have a buyer, Mr. and Mrs. And make them real. I got a buyer who wants to buy a house in your neighborhood. No, I have a buyer that's interested in your neighborhood. It's Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so. They're moving here from St. Louis, blah, blah, blah. Make them real. Make them real people. Even if they ain't quite real, make them real anyway, all right? Easy enough? All right. So what's it say? If I get a yes to that, proceed the same way you would with any other cold call. Get a no, thank them for their time, conclude the call. Easy enough? Then there's another one down there, cold calling looking for a seller through just listed information. When you list a house, you should. How many of you have listed? You've listed a few houses. Have you called the neighborhood? No, bad boy. All right. If you list a house, guess what you do? You call the neighborhood. I bet your limb's got you doing that, right? You call the neighborhood. Why? Why do you think? If I listed this house right here, why should I call all these people?
Because they might know somebody that wants to live in that neighborhood.
They might know somebody wants to live in that neighborhood, and guess what? If one person's interested in selling their house, there's usually more than one. I just listed the home of Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so at such and such an address. You ever thought about selling your home? Oh, they put their house on the market? Well, how much are they asking for? You know what they're telling you? If they ask you questions like that, you know what they're telling you?
They want to sell.
They're thinking about selling. Absolutely, positively. They're thinking about selling. Okay, ask them another question. Well, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so's house that I just listed has got 4 bedrooms. How's that compare to yours? And if they start talking to you about comparing houses, guess what? Get in the door. Get in the door. But you can't do any of it if you don't make the neighborhood. You can't do it if you don't make the neighborhood calls. You said you just listed 3, right? Yeah. How many neighborhood calls that? About 100 and some? So as opposed to sitting around here doing nothing, you could have called them. All right? Cold call looking for a seller through just listed. That's the one we just talked about. All right? So let's go to page 4. Real quick. Cold call looking for a seller through house sold information. Oh, okay. All right. If you sell a house, if you have the buying side of the transaction, call the neighbors, let them know the house is sold. They'll want to know the sale price. You can't tell them the sale price until they close. But if they want to know the sale price, guess what? When it closes, I'll get back to you. Right? Make yourself a little note. Such and such person wants to know the sale price. So when it closes, I'm going to call them back and I'm going to ask them, oh gosh, got a good price for that house. You ever thought about selling yours? Easy enough? Close for call back. All right. You see underneath of that it says, once again, the change in dialogue is a purpose statement. I could go over all of these, but I want to tell you, You go over them and you have them in front of you before you call. Whatever you're going to say, you have right in front of you before you call. And you practice it. Yes, Scott?
I want to go back a little bit to cold call, looking for sellers through house. When you're cold calling and you have a buyer, and you're saying you have a buyer in mind,
Yeah.
and you get in the door, and they're like, okay, who's the buyer? Where's the buyer at?
Huh?
And all they're talking about is the buyer. What's the buyer?
I can't show your house until I've seen it myself. I have to see it before I show it to my buyers.
No, when you're actually in the house.
And you don't have the buyer with you. Right? Okay. I don't bring my buyers until I've previewed the house. I have to see your house before I can bring my buyers to see it.
You say you've seen the house already.
Huh?
So what if you've seen the house? What's your dialogue then?
If you're on a listing appointment, you're towards the end of the listing appointment.
Oh, and on a listing appointment. Okay, we were cold call prospecting. On a listing appointment, you're saying, where's your buyer?
Yeah, they keep asking, okay.
I work with
Several people.
I work with a lot of buyers. Now that I've previewed your house, I'll see if my buyers are interested in it. We'll bring them. But you got to. It's like a preview. Like I'm not showing it to them until I see what's here. What you have to say.
What if they say, "Oh, we're going to think about it"?
Okay. Well, I'm not going to bring them a buyer. Yeah. That's simple. Bye.
There you go.
There you go. It's that easy. All right. What else we got on this thing? Is this about it? Okay, what else we got? Cold call prospecting, follow up to an open house. Oh, this was, looking on the page 5. This is rather interesting. How many of you have held an open house? Bingo. Anybody else? You have, of course. Anybody else? You have. You held an open house. And you had a sign-in sheet, right? And you got a name and a number, right? Or an email address, or both. Is that correct? Yes. How many of you did a follow-up call? You've done them for them, right? Follow-up calls for an open house? Absolutely. You've done them? You've done them? Good for all of you guys. Good for all of you guys. Okay, cold call prospecting, follow-up to an open house. Purpose of the calls a homeowner has requested. You see that word? Purpose of my calls, the homeowners requested that I called everyone back who came to the open house just to see if anyone has any interest in it. Do you have any interest in the house? You see that dialogue in there? Call them all back, see if they have any interest. If you get a yes, what are you going to try to do? You're going to close for an appointment to get them back in the house again? Well, yeah, we might be interested in that one. We saw 4 or 5 and we like that one better than any we saw. Close for an appointment to get them back in the house. It's right there. Easy enough? So, with all of this, here's the deal. If you've got the words to say, you've got the dialogues to say, there's no reason not to do this, except that you don't have guts enough to do it. Guts is a good word. I like guts. I was a football coach for 27 years, so I like guts. You got to have guts enough to do it. You got guts enough to do it, don't you? Because she's paying you to do it, and you're sitting there doing it, and it's gotten easier. The longer you do it, the easier it gets, right? That's when you say? Yes, of course. The longer you do it, the easier it gets. Don't look at it as rejection. They're not rejecting you. If they say no, they're not rejecting you. They're rejecting the service that you have to offer them at this time. They're not rejecting you personally. They don't know you. Zoe called me with the same of this dialogue. Would I be rejecting Zoe? No, I don't even know her. But I am rejecting whatever she offers me service-wise. Follow? So, here's what we're going to do. Next week, I come back in here next week. Guess what's going to happen? You come in here with a list of 40 names. You come in here with a list of 40 names. And I'm going to go around and ask you, do you have your call list? All right? And then guess what you're going to do? We're going out of here. And in about 15 minutes time, we're going to call as many people on that list, or maybe it just might be just one. But we're going to be making calls from that call list. And I'm going to do it. I did this for Weichert for years and years and years. We had about 30 phones in a big training room. Guess what we did with them day one? Day one. We handed them a list. We knew which area they were from, which town they were from, so we handed them a list of names. Here you are. Here you are. Go call these people. And here's one response we got. I'll never forget this. 2 minutes into the call session, there was a woman sitting in the corner of the room. And she screamed and dropped the phone. Ah! And we walked over and said, oh, well, God, what happened? What happened? She says, I just made this call and I was following this dialogue and I said, are you interested in selling your home? And they said, well, yes. Are you from Weichert? Mm-hmm. And we said, yes. She said, well, I've just talked to a Century 21 agent and I'm going to call the Weichert agent next. Do you want to come over and see my house? This woman didn't have a clue what she's doing. All right. And so, yeah, but we sent somebody over there that didn't know what they were doing, listed the house for. But the point being is, you never know. You never know. You absolutely never know. Next question. One more question. Did you learn anything this morning?
Yes.
You learn anything this morning? Did you learn anything this morning? You better say yes. Kick your butt out of here. Everybody learned something this morning, right?